Good evening again, folks. It's 7:08 p.m. on election night, November 5th, and Justin Paulsen has called in. We appreciate you calling in, Justin. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity.
Are you tired?
I will say that I am glad the campaign season is over. It has been a heck of a lot of fun, but I am looking forward to a good night's sleep tonight.
You know, I've seen political campaigns and been parts of them since I was 16 years old, and there were moments when these two county council races looked a little bit more like a congressional race to me. I'm amazed how hard you all six worked this year. Did you know it would be this much?
I had a pretty good idea. I had some folks who were seasoned county council people and had been through campaigns that were giving me advice. I think because of our geography, you just kind of got to expect that it's going to take that little extra bit of effort to get it done. And I think it's an indication of what it takes to do the job as well.
Yeah. So what did you do today to keep your mind off of tonight? Off tonight, but off the waiting, I should say. Off
the waiting, yeah. I worked today, so I had actually a job to do today, getting some stuff done, and then closed out the day by doing the presentations for the senior night at the high school for the volleyball game, which is something that I've done for the senior classes for the last, probably 10 years. And then did the announcing for the game, and I'm proud to report that Orcas beat Friday Harbor 3-1. So it was. Be careful.
Be careful. Also, Justin, the polls are open another hour or another.
Well, I will also report that as part of the athletics programs, I am happy to report that both Friday Harbor and Lopez Soccer won their games today, and so they will play each other on Thursday in the district championship tournament. So that's going to be actually all three teams from Lopez, Orcas, and Friday Harbor are all still in the district tournament, which I think that means they're all going to make it to the state tournament, which is pretty amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
What did you learn in this election, in this campaign, that you didn't expect to learn?
I think the biggest eye-opener for me has just been the unique quality of each island. You go into these things from a very island-centric perspective. I was pretty well dialed in with the concerns and the wants and the needs of the people in Orcas. But going from island to island, we have a lot of things that are the same. But every island has its own unique issues that they feel really passionate about. And so it was really intriguing to learn what is specifically concerning to Lopez, what is specifically concerning to Shaw, and San Juan, and then you jump to the smaller islands, and every island has its own set of concerns, and that's part of understanding what is critical for this job is to really get into that and find those little pieces of what makes the islands tick.
I'd welcome you to thank and congratulate your team. If you want to talk a little bit about your team, your campaign team.
Yeah. So when I started this whole thing, there was just a lot of conversation with folks, and I didn't really have anybody to lean on. And a young man in Orcas, Keith Light, came to me and said, "Hey, I hear you might be running. I'm interested in helping." And Keith really is the one who started getting my campaign running, and was a huge contributor. And from there, we were able to reach out and make connections on Lopez. Rhea Miller, as a former county council person, stepped up as a really dear advisor. Catherine Bryant Ingman, who was also served on the ferry schedule rewrite committee with me, stepped up and said she wanted to get involved. Suzanne Olson helped with some press work and copy work right off the get-go. And I'm going to forget people here.
Ed Andrews.
Well, so Ed came after the primary. One other to mention, Laura Torma has been doing all of the accounting and making sure we stayed compliant. And I in the background of campaigns, you have people like that without them, who are really in trouble. And then Ed came on after the primary, and Ed saw how we did in the primary, and he said, I want to get involved and I want to help. And Ed just sort of took over the operations of the campaign and has done an amazing job. If the stars align and the results go the way we want, I owe a ton of gratitude to Ed either way. But Ed has been just fantastic to work with and really been somebody to lean on through the whole thing.
Well,
in fact, I'm at Ed's house tonight having dinner. It's my wife and I, and Ed and his wife are having a very quiet evening, having dinner, waiting for the results to come in.
Hello, Ed. How you doing? So, yeah. So, finally, I wanted to observe that I really respect and appreciate the way the campaigns in the general here between yourself and Rick have been really high road, stayed very constructive, and stick to the issues. I think the entire county has been well served by the way the campaigns have competed and stayed civil. I just want to thank you for both of you for that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you want to share a message to Rick or about Rick.
Well, so when this whole thing started, Rick and I had been talking for, probably over a year about, are you thinking of running? Are you not going to run? Who's going to run? And in the end, we both ended up running. And one of the first things we did was get on the phone together and say, let's make a commitment to each other that this is not about getting down in the mud or getting dirty. This is about, really raising up our community. And so we both committed right off the get-go to stay positive, stay focused on the issues. And I sincerely appreciate the amount of effort that he put into holding up those values. And we did the same thing, to the point that there were topics throughout this campaign where we could have probably tried to draw clearer lines between ourselves, but instead we turned and looked at the other guy and said, hey, you did a really good job on that, and you have a good record on that, so why fight you on it? I appreciate the work that Rick did for this county for 8 years previously, and I've told people all along that 4 years ago I was part of Rick's campaign, and so I would be a fool to stand up in front of the public and say and try and talk negatively about Rick. He is a friend. He is a neighbor. We are both business people in this community, and I truly believe that we both have the best interest of the community at mind.
Well, the campaign, the dueling campaigns have been a terrific reflection on Orcas Island, I believe. It's just my personal opinion. All right, well, let's get back to dinner. What's for dinner tonight?
I honestly don't know. Ed's cooking. Ed is a fabulous cook. If anybody follows him on Facebook, I would recommend you do it just to see the beautiful things that he cooks. And so I'm waiting for the next round of food to come out. So we'll see what we get.
All right. Well, thank you. Good luck, Justin, and thanks for checking in with us tonight. And we'll talk to you on the other side.
Yeah, and Jeff, I want to leave with this, that a big thank you to you and Jeremy. Your efforts through this campaign have been single-handedly some of the best publicity, advertising, and sharing of information that any of us could have hoped for. So I really appreciate the work you guys did.
Thank you for your kind words, and yes, a lot of credit to Jeremy, who is our engineer. None of this would happen. All right, thank you. Have a good night. Get some rest after you get the results. Folks, the final results may not be in until Friday. Most likely won't be completely till Friday. So, but a lot will be known tonight. So thank you, Justin. Yep. Have a nice evening. And hi to Amber, and we'll talk to you maybe tomorrow.
Oh, great. I appreciate it, Jeff. Looking forward to it.
Okay, good night.
All right, bye-bye.